Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Bob Balaban, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Hello.
Yes, Paul's back for the
Again.
foreseeable future, maybe.
Yeah. This was last Saturday I'm working, so let's
Okay, so for the foreseeable future, Paul will be back on the podcast, bringing color commentary and enjoyable insights to all of the things we're going to be talking about. So, everybody leave a bunch of 5-star reviews on our Apple Podcasts that say, I love Paul. He's the best part of the podcast.
Dude, if we get at least 2 of those, then I will go, I don't know, I'll get you guys a Chipotle pizza slice from Come and Go.
Dude, that would be so sick. I would love that, especially since we none of us live in the same city.
I should have said Come and Go near you guys.
And I don't I don't think there's a Come and Go in Wisconsin.
Oh, well, I'll ship it to you.
Okay, that'll be gross. Yep. We have a slam dunk episode, kind of. We're both a little bit low in the topics. So who knows? This might be shorter, but also we've said that and then it's an hour and a half, so I don't really know how to gauge this anymore. So we're just going to keep on talking until we're done. We do have a couple discussions to get through. Or not discussions, but I guess kind of reviews. I saw The Batman last night.
The Batman?
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman movies have a history of having confusing titles and hard to differentiate between the other ones. So the differentiation between this Batman movie and the one that came out in 1989 is the word "the." That's it.
Nice. Away with words.
I know. So we have Batman, Batman Begins, The Batman, Batman and Robin, Batman Returns, and I don't remember the one with Val Kilmer. It doesn't matter. That one kind of sucked. And the Dark Knight stuff. That one was going to be interesting, where it was going to be a different name every single time, but then The Dark Knight was like one of the most successful like blockbusters ever, so then they're like, it's The Dark Knight Rises. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of the best trilogies of all time, but they kind of fumbled the names towards the end there. But does the Batman live up to The Dark Knight? Is it better than Batman versus Superman? There's so many questions. And I will be going over some of the answers. No spoilers, because the movie just came out. So if you are worried about the Batman being spoiled for you, fret not, because there will be no spoilers in this podcast. I would say stay away from social media, though, because there are things in this movie that you don't want spoiled.
Oh.
I will leave it at that. So we'll be going over the Batman very briefly, and just my general thoughts on the whole thing. And I also need to give a follow-up review to Elden Ring, because I got my copy from GameStop, surprisingly.
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to get here still a week and a half from now. The shipping information still says that the courier hasn't picked it up, but I got it last Monday. So I don't know. I was very surprised to get it, but I got it, and I have been playing it consistently since then. Obviously, I was not able to finish the game. This is probably one of the biggest games I have ever played. Probably, it's going up against some Rockstar games right now. And I still haven't even finished Red Dead 2, which I know is
You
Not
haven't? I thought
quite.
you did.
I beat the main game. That's
Oh,
all I'll say.
you mean like side quests and stuff?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll
Have
stop
you?
asking then.
Well, I'll just ask. How far are you in Red Dead?
Oh, frick, I don't know. It's been a while since I last played. I've gotten to what is it? The, like, city kind
Oh,
of
okay.
place.
Saint Denis. Yeah.
Saint Denis, yeah. And
Okay.
then I got a really cool, expensive horse, and then I got ambushed and lost it, and then I kind of gave up for a while.
That's fair. That is fair. You didn't have any horse reviver on you?
I probably did, but you see, I got ambushed, the horse got injured, I died, and then I think he just killed the horse.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Because I went back to look, and there was nothing there.
Frick.
It's
Well,
like
that.
freaking 12 people with like 4 in a cart, too. I couldn't do anything.
Dang. Okay.
It was rough.
Yeah. So I beat the main story of Red Dead 2. I don't want to say more than that. But there is more after the main story.
Ooh.
And apparently it's like half the length of the original Red Dead 1. So
I
that
don't know
game
how
is
long that goes, but
insanely long. But Elden Ring stacking up to be, I don't know, it's probably going to take me just as long to beat it. If there even is a way to beat it, I don't know. So when we talked last week, I was about 2 hours in, and then I refunded it because I didn't want to pay for 2 copies of the game. I just wanted to get some general thoughts. And I think the consensus last week was that I was pretty disappointed in Elden Ring.
what?
I, I know. I was just as surprised as you guys were, and I was saying it. But I was kind of citing a lot of lack of.
Stupid takes.
No, I think I still stand by some of it. Like, there is. The game is Dark Souls with a horse. And that's literally the only distinction. The way that combat works, the way that stats work, the way that armor works, everything is exactly copy paste from Dark Souls. Down to the movement, they took the engine and just copied it over. And I think that is kind of lame because Dark Souls is. I don't really like the combat in it, especially going from Sekiro to this, which Sekiro has very fluid movement and combat. The way that you can like grapple around, there's like more verticality to it, which I really dig. Elden Ring, the jump is kind of cool, but a lot of the ledges are too tall. So, and there's no like grab, like what would you call it? Like in a battlefield or something when you jump on a ledge and then mounting. There's nothing like that. So it is a little bit like clunky, which isn't too bad because I learned that you can jump on the horse and the horse can double jump, and that's pretty cool. Not to the point where you can jump off a mountain and then double jump and then be fine, which is something I learned very recently that you cannot do. It's kind of silly. Like you jump off a mountain, then right before you land, you do like a double jump, so he like barely touches the ground, and then your horse dies and you die. So that's kind of funny.
Horse did.
Yeah, you can't do that. But I think last week I had a lot of issues, and I think the issue with Elden Ring is that its early game is very inaccessible. And I've seen some people online say that it is the most accessible From Software game, to which I would say you are liars and you guys are wrong. I think by far the most accessible is Sekiro, with how streamlined everything is. You don't have to grind. You don't have to like farm for stats and like level up and do all the. You don't have to grind in Sekiro. You can just play the game, and like if you get skills and like kill a lot of people without dying, then that's just a bonus. So I don't know who's saying that this game is accessible, especially when you walk out of the like baby starting area, and there was a guy on a giant golden horse who one hits you if you even try to go in combat with him right off the bat. Like, I think it was like 15 hours later, I finally came back and killed that guy, and it was still a tough fight. I have no idea why they put him in the baby starting area. So,
Fun little
yeah,
challenge.
it's a little bit of a challenge. But once you leave the main area, it's kind of awesome. Like, I am thoroughly enjoying just riding my horse around and finding like unique bosses. Like today, I was just like rolling around this volcano land, and then I jumped my horse up the volcano, and then there was a big bull that had like a beetle head and a scorpion tail, and it was pretty awesome. I couldn't beat it though because it was stupid, and I hate Elden Ring. But it was like there's a lot of like discovery that's really cool. Like the world feels alive, which does not tend to be the case in open world games. Even in a game I love like Breath of the Wild, vast amounts of the world is just nothing, and just going from shrine to shrine can be a little bit of a chore, especially if it's raining. But in Elden Ring, like you just ride your horse around, and like there aren't like a lot of obstacles to you as you're riding around. So it isn't like another like RPG where there's no like random encounters, or if you get into combat with someone, it doesn't kick you off the horse. So you can literally just like ride your horse from like the baby starting area to the very end of the game if you wanted to. Actually, you would have to fight some bosses on the way. There are some bosses that are not optional. Everybody is talking about, I believe his name is Margit. He is the
Margit.
first, yeah, he's a toughie. He's the first non optional boss in the game. I have only beaten two of the non optional bosses. I have not found any of the other non optional bosses. So that is an. I don't think it's an issue. I just think uh, I just
Need to
haven't.
look harder.
I do. I need to like dig into the world because I like because the world is so vast. I'm like, well, I could like really dig into this one region and find all the hidden bosses and stuff. But oh man, that's a really cool like golden forest zone, and that's so fun. I want to go explore that.
Go to Golden Forest.
There's a golden forest, and it's pretty
Nice.
g dang awesome.
That zone will distract me too. You're not the only one.
I know, and it was like especially because that was like right after I died like 1,000 times to a like the poison swamp zone, which has also
Yikes! I
been
hate
very
those.
very famous. That's right after you beat Margit, which is like one of the toughest bosses. Uh, I really had to farm for a long time before I could beat Margit. But I think a little strategy tip for those who are playing Elden Ring and are having troubles. I would recommend using some of the summons. I got this one summon where you
This
can
guy using
summon.
summons. Cringe.
I I don't use them very often, but they have won the game for me multiple times. I specifically have this one summon. I don't know what boss I killed to get it, but I spawn in like five little monkey men,
Ooh.
and they like distract the boss. And because there's five of them, like they usually tend to stay alive for a long time. So like if I'm like getting beat up by the boss, then the monkey men are hitting them. And so like if I'm almost dead, then the boss is like, I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm gonna be mad at these monkey men, and then I can use my flask and heal up. And then also in that Margit fight, there is a friendly summon that you can use, not tied to like, you know, this is I'm playing it on PlayStation, and you have to have like the PlayStation Plus to like get other people to come in. But there are some like AI people that will help you, and there is an AI person for Margit. So use them. They use some like sorcery stuff, but really all of those are just distractions for the boss so that they'll draw the taunt or whatever, and then you can go in and attack. Also, play the samurai because the samurai sword is awesome. And you hit them enough, and then like it causes them to bleed out, and that does a ton of damage. So do that. But that has
Will do.
like that has kind of killed some like people's interest in the game because it is so tough and it does limit you from progressing. But I would say that like probably a third of the map you don't have to even beat Margit to explore. Like the red like blood swamp area, which is very tough, but I would recommend going through there before you beat Margit because you can farm your levels easy. Although the
Oh,
enemies
you
are,
just said no farming.
I don't like it, but I, that's what, no, Sekiro has no farming. This has a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of farming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is one of my complaints of the game. It is ripped straight from Dark Souls. So these guys they tend to be pretty spread out, but they're tough. So you can fight one enemy and then it'll give you a lot of souls or runes, I guess they are, but it doesn't really matter. They're souls. You kill one enemy and then you can move on, like heal up and then fight the next one. You can just farm these tougher enemies. And I don't think they tend to do a lot of damage, especially in the beginning of the Red Forest. I don't know why this is turning into a strategy guide. But
Tell me more.
I'm just like, because I know that this Margit boss is turning some people off, and rightfully so, because you beat Margit, and then you still have to fight through this really tough castle, and then once you get to the end of the castle, there's another tough boss that you have to beat that doesn't have a
Librarian
friendly
lady.
summon. Yeah, I don't remember.
Moon chick.
The moon. I don't think it's the moon chick. It's like another. Is it the guy with the dragon hand? I think it's the guy with the dragon
I
hand.
think it's the guy with the dragon hand.
Yeah. So it really is a 1-2 punch for people who are like, oh, well, I almost lost interest in the game. I beat Margit, and now I can finally explore the rest of the world. No, you have to beat someone that's even harder, and you have less help to do it.
Yes.
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I still haven't even gone back to that castle and fully explored it, and I'm like, 20 levels higher than I was the first time. So I should probably, because I'm sure there's a lot left to explore, and I took the little sneaky cheater's way by just hopping on all the roofs and doing like a thief's little run. So I probably only got like 2 out of the, I don't know, like 10 bonfires that are in that area. So I'll go do some exploring. But I am thoroughly enjoying the game. Once you get past there, the world is so vast, and I've found so many like little areas that like are so cool. Like today, I just found like this little hereditary, or no, not hereditary, midsummer like cult area where there was like a bunch of enemies that were dancing like around, and then they got really mad when I killed their dog, and then they started killing me.
I mean, to be fair, anyone would be like that.
That's true. But they weren't too tough, so I killed them all. And then their leader was like this guy who was like Mr. Fantastic or something. Where like I killed him, and then when he got halfway dead, he turned into like a super stretchy guy, where like his body kept stretching, and then he would like stand like on the other side of the arena, and then he would like stretch his like torso towards me so he could swing his sword. It was way too goofy.
It almost sounds like something that would be like a glitch in a game where like the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of looks like that, where it looks like the model's like stuck in a wall or something, and it's like glitching out. But it's intentional, and it's kind of great. That's the thing, is that all of these enemies are like, they're so unique, that like the first guy, like Margit, is just like this dude who has a big hammer, and it's like a holy knife. I think that's what it is, which is kind of lame in like the grand scheme of like Elden Ring bosses. that I fought. Like, I mean, there's one that I haven't even tried to fight yet where there's like a big like dragon, like it looks like an old dragon, and then he has like 8 little baby dragons around him. I
Baby dragon.
killed one of the dragons, but every time a dragon hits you, it instantly kills you. So I'm like, I probably need to level up some more before I try to fight this guy. So I feel like I'm pretty close to the end, but also people are still one-shotting me, and I don't know if that's intentional. So I'm probably not.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. But I'm also like, I'm still using like the starting katana. I've just leveled it up like all the way to like level 16, which I don't know if you're necessarily supposed to do because I've gotten all
Wonders why
these.
he's doing so bad.
Well, the katana's awesome. the like the amount of damage that bleeding does if you like hit them enough, sometimes it's like a quarter of their health. So like if you just keep hitting them, then it does like so much damage. So it's like I want to use all these like cool weapons that I'm getting from defeating these bosses and stuff, but like also just tactically I can't do that. Otherwise I'm going to die all the time. So I mean,
Brian comes in.
I do need to grind. And I could use like that is one of the things that's nice is that like as you're leveling up, I don't remember how it was like in Dark Souls 3. It's been a while since I played it. But the like ways that you level up your armaments is finding these like smithing stones, and those smithing stones level up. So like there's level 1 smithing stones up to like I think level 9. I'm not sure. I also haven't gotten to the end zone, so I don't know. But like those levels of smithing stones will like enable you to level up your weapons up to a certain point. So I think I'm at smithing stone level 7 right now at my katana. That's like level 14, I think. Those don't quote me on those numbers. But like because like you're not looking at getting like level 1 smithing stones for your level 12 katana, you can use your level 1 smithing stones that you've like gathered up that you're not really using on your main weapon, and you can level up some other weapons that you're not using. So that's kind of cool, that you can do that. I will say that at least right now I'm not incentivized to. Like I've got what's working for me and it's doing the damage I need it to. So I'm probably not going to level up some like cool hook hands or even the other katana I got from being a bad bounty hunter guy. Which, by the way, for people who have gotten to the Volcano Manor, now that's a good place. You go there and then there's a little lady and she's like, "Do you want to kill some other people?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And then she gives you some cool stuff if you kill other AI guys. So I'd recommend that. I don't know if it's other AI guys. If you have PlayStation Plus or just use the Steam version, you might actually have to kill other players.
We
But
don't know how that goes.
yeah, that's one of the things where it's like, are you sure you want to do this? You're gonna be like killing other people, and I'm like, I don't care. They're AI people, whatever. They're just like red spirits. I don't
Well,
know.
if you have PlayStation Plus, are you sure you're probably gonna get completely swamped by pro players?
Well, I mean, it's a one-on-one thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how it works is you invade other people's world. So like as they're playing, it's just randomly you'll just be like, "You've been invaded by Gamer Boy 69." And
Oh
it's like,
yeah, I remember. I saw a video. Apparently, someone got invaded while they're in a boss fight.
yes, yeah. That is the worst. Which is why I usually have online services turned off when I was playing Dark Souls 3, because that used to happen all the time, and it got me very angry. Because the world is hard enough, I don't need other people trying to screw me over too. But what I do miss is that I can't read the funny messages. The messages are like the best part of these games that other players will leave on the ground, because I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but like whenever you play a From Software game, I think Sekiro doesn't have these, which is very sad. But as you're walking around, there are like these little runes on the ground that other people leave. that they write little messages to you, but they can't type in words like just manually. They have to like use specific words that From Software has like picked to be like like whatever you can use. So like it's it's just like I was like walking around when I was playing on Steam, and there would just be messages of just like Elden Ring behind wall, and then you'd hit the wall, and then it would be a fake wall, and like, well, it wouldn't be a fake wall because there are fake walls that you hit, and there's so many times that people will leave messages that will say illusory wall ahead, and then you hit it and it's not, and then you get very angry because they duped you. But I'm
Oh,
not.
funny trolls.
It's very funny. I'm not really doing it justice because the people get very creative with the words they're given to make some masterpieces. But unfortunately, I'm not able to see those because I don't have PlayStation Plus, and I'm not willing to pay like $15 to see messages or get invaded by other people. So I'm just going to save my cash. But
Good idea.
I think for now, Elden Ring, check it out. I'm going to give a hesitant recommendation because I'm enjoying all of the aspects of Elden Ring except its core mechanics that are ripped from Dark Souls. But the world, the enemies, the other characters you find, the story still doesn't make any sense. You know, George R. R. Martin, keep doing the Game of Thrones stuff because this doesn't make any sense. And I saw somebody compiled all of the names of all of the NPCs that you can meet in the game, and they're like strikingly similar. Where there's like Ilrida, or I can't pronounce any of these because they're like fantasy stuff. So like Iridra and Ilrydra, and those are like two separate people. He just changed a letter. I was like, how am I supposed to keep this straight? At least in Game of Thrones, there was Tyrion Lannister and Jon Snow. Like, those are two very different sounding names. And also, it's just very confusing. So, I don't know. I just don't get high fantasy. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I'd recommend it. It's pretty fun. It's very tough, though. It's not something for the casual gamer. Only elite gamers like myself will play Dark Souls.
Yes, I'm out then.
It definitely is the Dark Souls of Elden Ring. That's for sure. So, that is my renewed take on Elden Ring, the new game that is sweeping the nation. We do have a little bit more gaming news. Just one bit of gaming news, I suppose. Star Wars Eclipse. This was a game that is made by Quantic Dream. People have been advocating for this game to be boycotted because the main guy, I don't remember his name. I should, because let me search Quantic Dream bad guy, and it will probably come up. I'm seeing that there are racist, sexist, and homophobic images of employees, some that depicted developers in Nazi uniforms, but I don't see. There's like the one guy. It's like Bobby Kotick in Activision. David Cage, that's his name. He's always been like a kind of a weird renegade, and now there's been some like weird stuff that shows that he may or may not hate Jews. So people have been, yeah, people have been kind of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't, maybe you shouldn't make the first non-book entry in the New High Republic, which I don't know anything about. And we did get some news. Quantic Dream has announced its release window. They are looking to release in 2027 to 2028, citing they are struggling to hire staff. Yes. very big question
No
mark.
one knows why.
Nobody knows why.
Nobody knows.
Especially since I believe David Cage is still working in the production. Like, I think he is the lead designer. So, yeah, maybe let's can that project. We did get a
Rockstar to shame.
yeah. We got the little sizzle reel. I think that was at the Game Awards. But you know, we can just can that project. It's okay, I think.
Okay, move on.
Yeah. So I just thought it would be funny to bring up that they are struggling. That's okay. And then the
We all
last
struggle.
little bit of news is for who asked for this news?
I know I didn't.
Everybody's favorite segment.
You are missing Pokemon, but it's okay. I forgive you.
Oh.
Oh, he doesn't care about Pokemon.
I know
cares?
he doesn't, but I care.
I saw the new starters. Everybody was going crazy
Weed Cat.
about
Yeah,
Weed
those
Cat. I
cute-
like the dinosaur.
I
little
like the
fire-
dinosaur. I think
little
that's
fire
pretty cool.
guy.
They made a freaking pepper dinosaur and slapped a craft single on him and called him good, and I love him.
I like him. I like him a lot. I
Duck's
forgot
good.
what's the water one.
It's just a duck with a toupee.
That's right. There's a duck.
Not bad, but it's just a duck.
It's a duck. And
We already
I
have
like
ducks.
dinosaurs or cats.
Yeah, we have a lot of ducks already. So, I mean, Weed Cat and Fire Dinosaur Pepper, whatever it's supposed to be, is pretty cool.
I have no idea.
We're going to Spain. It's going to be very cool.
I hope that they don't ruin the future evolutions like they always do.
I hope not.
I want.
need cool
Can
evolution.
we just keep them cute for once in your g-dang lives?
Yeah.
Like this pepper dinosaur, I would literally die for, but you know, like it's just gonna turn into a super hot, sexy, like ripped muscle man.
Furry bait.
No, that's
Yeah.
the Weed Cat. That's what
Weed
the
Cat's
Weed
gonna
Cat.
turn
was.
Weed Cat's gonna turn
Yeah,
into Cool Cat.
There's always the furry starter. Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there like just a flame cat?
Dolphins. Or
There
not
was one in.
freaking Fennekin.
I remember
Yeah.
I used that one and why?
Was
I think.
yeah, Fennekin was Gen 6. This is Gen 9.
Oh,
So
Has
that
it
was a
been-
fox, though.
wow. Yeah, I guess that was why. So then,
Yeah.
Sun and Moon, and then
While ago.
Sword and Shield, and then
Mhm.
what is it? Ruby? No, it isn't Ruby and Sapphire.
That was remake.
What's
The remake's
what's this
still-
new one? It's 2 gems. It's
That's also remake.
no. What is this new one?
Oh, Scarlet and Violet, I think.
That sounds correct.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which it sounds a little weird, but
they aren't really opposites, but I guess
No.
swords and shields aren't
it's
opposites.
red and purple.
Yeah, they are. I'd say they
Yeah,
are.
sword and shields are opposites. Red
For
and
sure.
purple aren't opposites.
No, at least
But,
do
I mean,
red and
Whatever.
chartreuse.
It
Sounds
just looks
cool.
good because it's in Spain and the starters actually have promise. So it's like, oh,
That's true.
okay. It is weird that it's coming out later this year.
That is weird. It's like
Too soon.
Arceus
I-
just came out.
I think it was different teams. I think they.
Probably. Yeah.
The thing is, I think Arceus was the beta test for this open world concept, and now this is the boy. Since this is a flagship game.
True.
Well, it better be.
Well, yeah, we'll see how it works. I'm excited. It looks good. Unlike Arceus when it first got announced. But, I mean, Arceus
Yes.
is good, so
Oh yeah.
I don't have
Arceus is
any
cool.
reason not to doubt it.
We shall soon see.
We'll see.
I.
Keep the cat on all fours, and, you know.
What does that
I-
mean?
don't-
Oh,
don't
okay,
make-
okay.
Don't make him, yeah.
Don't make him a hot, sexy cat. I hate when they do
Yeah.
that.
I hate
It's like
when
I
they do
don't
that.
want him to be cool. Just keep him
Yeah.
cute. It's like
Sun
that
and Moon had
dog.
great starters. Keep it in that wheelhouse. and
Yeah.
You're good.
That's true.
I love the names of them, though. They're all, like, Spanish and, like, Italian. Like,
I don't know their names.
the cat's got, like, I forgot what the cat's name is, but it makes me happy.
Let me see. New Pokemon starters.
Oh wait,
Gen
Sun and Moon
9.
had a Fire Cat starter.
Did it?
Yeah.
Um,
Let me see.
Let's
the
see.
name.
Wait, was
I'll
that Incineroar? Was that?
Litten.
Yeah, it was Litten. Okay, I forgot.
Yeah.
Litten.
I'm just a Decidueye main.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't play that.
Grass
I don't
type. Weed cat is Sprigatito.
Yeah, Sprigatito. I
Sprigatito.
love him. I love him.
Fire type is Fuecoco.
Yeah.
And the water type is Quaxley.
Okay, Quaxley's a
Quax-
pretty cool name, though.
For a duck.
We're gonna have a
Quaxley.
lot of fun with naming since it's Spanish.
Oh yeah, I like that. I'm definitely Team Dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm Team Dinosaur.
I
but
know
I'm
some
not mad at the
people are
cat at all. The
I'm not
cat's
mad
really
at the
close
cat.
second.
It's just a cat, though. I mean, like it's
It
not
is just a
really
cat, but it's a
offensive.
weed cat, so it's automatic.
It's kind of funny that it is a weed. It's probably like
Yeah.
it's cilantro.
Yeah,
or
it's
something
funny.
like that.
you're
I don't
it's
know.
just a basil cat.
It's a basil cat.
I swear.
It's weird that they made the dinosaur, but he's also like he's supposed to be a pepper, but like
yeah,
it's a dinosaur.
I like that though.
I
I
like
thought he
him.
was
I don't
an
know what
apple.
else it would be if you're trying to design a little.
Yeah, he
pepper
does kind of
guy.
look like an apple. There's already an apple Pokemon. It's
Yeah.
Spain. It's got to be a pepper of some sort, I think.
Yeah, it's muy caliente.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all we know right now.
Yeah.
But
Muy
off to
fire.
a good start. Just don't mess it up, Game Freak.
Well, we'll see. If Sword and Shield has taught us nothing, is that they often rush production.
Yeah.
Heck yeah,
If
bro.
Arceus shows us anything, that there's a glimmer of hope.
That's true.
And these
That
three
is true.
starters.
As long as they, if they can throw Arceus in mainline games into a bucket with good graphics, it would be like, heck
Yeah.
yes, I'm buying that day one
The
probably.
graphics look pretty decent from like the shots we've seen. Like things are actually populated.
Yeah.
It's not empty space.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
and I saw an image of apparently an incredibly detailed Magnemite, but I mean that doesn't matter anything if the grass is like 2 pixels.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that's with Arceus. The Pokemon are incredibly detailed, but like
Yeah.
the environments are not. Which I guess it's better than having that the other way around. But
Yeah. 2
He'll get
pixel
there.
Pokemon, but with like
yeah,
ray shading graphics.
that could be cool.
Ray tracing, not ray shading. That's what it is.
The Switch cannot handle ray tracing.
No.
It's 5 years old. We are in desperate need of a Switch 2 or whatever their next console is going to be. I've seen some people make jokes that it is going to be the Switch U, and I think that would be funny. But I doubt that's what
It's
it's going to be.
Nintendo. They gotta have like a quirky name for it.
Yeah, it'll be like the Nintendo Snap,
The
or
dual switch
or the
something,
clap,
Yeah.
or the flip. I don't know.
The flip.
It's like a flip phone.
Nintendo Flip.
Flip phone console.
Yeah, they're taking a page out of Samsung's book.
What if it's the normal Switch, but the screen is a flip phone, so when you open it, it's double the size because you flip it open, so you have more screen area.
That would be pretty cool. Except
yeah.
I hardly ever use the handheld mode.
And then it'd be square, so you'd have to make 4-3 games,
Oh, that would be so
which would
sick.
be pretty cool.
You could port all of the N64 games.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a good idea since Nintendo makes like all of their own games.
Yeah.
Like switch up the aspect ratio. Go 4:3 on them.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
go
sounds
Zack
crazy.
Snyder.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
Why not? It'd be fun. I don't know. We'll see. It would be kind of weird to like play a game in 4:3 and then you plug it into your TV and then it's
Oh, yeah, I
16:9.
Just make a dynamic aspect ratio. I'm sure it's very easy for.
Yeah, it's
developers.
very simple to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
Just do
they spend like 5 years making games anyways. They can work
Yeah.
on dynamic aspect ratios. I think we'll be okay. Pull a Wes Anderson on them. They can do it. Speaking of Wes Anderson, let's get back to the who asked for this news. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
have anything to do with Wes Anderson. I maybe shouldn't have prefaced with that. It has to do with everyone's favorite, Will Smith.
Let's
Oh my god,
go.
yes.
Who here by show of hands loves Will Smith?
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah, I would hope that you guys
I
are
am
raising
totally
your
raising
hands.
my hand. Let's go.
Are you guys familiar with a little indie gem called I Am Legend?
Of course.
Possibly.
Did you know that they are making a Squeakquel to I Am Legend?
Is
Oh my
Will Smith
God.
in it?
Will Smith is in it.
Let's go.
Dude,
Now I know you're asking yourself,
I'm
Who's
not.
gonna play the dog?
how is that possible?
Oh,
I don't know if you have seen the
prefer-
film I Am Legend,
yeah.
but spoiler alert, Will Smith dies
He
in the
recites
end.
the entire Shrek
Well-
opening scene.
He does do that. That is the best scene in the movie is when he
Yeah.
just starts talking about Shrek. But he
Is that
dies in
right?
the end. Very dramatically. His whole lab explodes with him in it. And he is going to be returning with, you'll never guess, Michael B. Jordan.
Ooh.
I know. Everyone's favorite actor, Michael B. Jordan. I actually don't have anything against Michael B. Jordan. I like Michael B. Jordan. We'll see him
You
in The
know-
Wire this week as a little baby. But yeah, I Am Legend sequel in development with Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan as leads. I've seen some people
Who's
cite
playing the dog?
probably not the same dog. That dog is dead.
Yeah.
It's been like 20 years. I think I Am Legend came out in 2002. I'm gonna,
I think dogs can live that long. He can still be alive.
not like German Shepherds.
Definitely not
okay.
German Shepherds.
2007. So it's been, what, 15 years? Six?
Yeah.
Something like that? 16? If I'm counting? I don't know. So that dog is probably dead. It wasn't a puppy.
Let
Oh,
me
yeah,
see.
German Shepherds live to be like 8 or 9. That's,
Yeah.
It's
9 to 13 years, frick. So he's probably dead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
Unless he's the oldest German Shepherd in the world and he's like 16 or something. Then maybe.
The oldest German Shepherd working in the film industry? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I've seen A
dogs
Dog's Purpose. Well, you know,
Funny.
the dog is also dead. Like, the dog dies in the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Double on
The
top.
dog hunts it.
the dog, I think he dies like halfway through the movie. It's
Oh, I
like
thought
one
you
of
meant
the
they
first-
literally killed the dog hunts it.
No, no, this isn't like Apocalypse Now where they actually kill an animal
They
and
just
leave it in
actually
the
kill
movie.
the
Oh, I didn't know that actually happens.
Oh, yeah, in Apocalypse Now they kill a bull.
Oh, well, that's a bull. That's not like a dog or something.
It's pretty
There's a
graphic.
big difference.
I wish I could erase that memory from my mind, but I now have the image of someone chopping a bull's head off that is real. They actually did that.
Should have gone for the balls first.
Well, I don't know. They might have. I don't know. They might have cut that part.
Maybe.
But it's pretty
I
sad.
hear the balls make good soup.
You know, Rocky Mountain oysters, they have a name for a reason. It's a delicacy.
Yeah.
Speaking of testosterone-fueled, action-packed blockbuster flicks, let's talk about The Batman. Everybody's favorite
You
film.
talk about the Batman.
Yeah, well,
Again,
I'll talk
that's
about
cool.
The Batman. Okay, so this movie is, I guess it's one of the most hyped events of the year. I didn't know how many people were hyped for it. I knew I was very excited. But man, that theater was packed last night. I saw it on opening day, Friday. There were, midnight, quote unquote midnight showings on Thursday night. I did not go to see those. I instead went on Friday at 6:40, which probably was like the worst time to see it if I wanted less people in the theater.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure it was a sold out show, which, good and bad thing. It's nice to have the atmosphere of people laughing along. There isn't really moments in this movie where you laugh along. But I would recommend seeing this in the theater. I don't think that this is one you're going to want to miss. I think this is definitely one like Dune, where this is a blockbuster that deserves to be seen on the big screen. This
Noted.
movie is very cinematic. The lighting in it is very dark. And that's a good and a bad thing. I think sometimes it can be a little bit too dark. You can't quite see what's going on. But, that's fine. But it is just oozing with atmosphere. This is definitely the most, maybe like Arkham games or like some of the 90s, 2000s Batman comics where they got really dark with it, like The Killing Joke or something, where, that's the story where the Joker shoots Batgirl in her spine and paralyzes her from the waist down.
It's a good break.
Yikes.
It gets pretty dark in the comics, and this definitely feels like that. Obviously, it's not an R-rated movie. It was PG-13.
Okay, good.
Some people were very upset by that.
Oh, of course they would.
I think some people wanted this to be the dark, edgy Batman movie that I think we've all wanted. Not quite, but it doesn't pull any punches. I will say I was a little bit nervous going in because the trailers definitely showed a lot of the fight scenes, but the like two fight scenes that are in the trailers are like literally some of the first scenes in the movie. This movie does a great job of establishing, like, I think, you know, I'm going to be comparing this a lot to the Nolan Batman movies because this, there's some direct comparisons here. I'm not going to be comparing this to the Zack Snyder Batman movies because those are an embarrassment and I hate them. So I think this is definitely like TLDR. This is definitely like probably one of the best Batman movies since Nolan left. This post Nolan DC. Well, I mean it's definitely the best DC movie so far, and that's even beating like the Suicide Squad and Joker, which
Can't be Suicide Squad.
the Suicide Squad's great. That's a great movie. But I think this is definitely better,
Whoa.
which I know, very shocking. I think in the like ranking list, I think it goes The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Batman 89, The Dark Knight Rises, and then all of the other 90s ones that weren't as good. I guess the Danny DeVito Penguin one is right under The Dark Knight Rises, and then everything else is kind of garbage trash. So, and I think right now, this one is, I think it's right above Batman Begins. So it doesn't quite beat The Dark Knight, which I wasn't going in with that expectation that it was going to beat The Dark Knight, because The Dark Knight is not only one of the best superhero movies ever, it's also just one of the best movies. It's probably Chris Nolan's best, in my opinion. And, it's going to be tough to beat that, especially with, Heath Ledger as the Joker. It's one of the best performances of all time. It's going to be pretty tough to beat that, but it is right under it. That being said, it's definitely not perfect. I think in terms of pacing, the first act, really, really solid. It feels like a kind of dark noir movie with like hints of action. The action scenes aren't like, I'm trying to word this, like sometimes in action movies, like a John Wick or something, the story is more or less like a backdrop to get to the fight scenes. It's just something to like, carry through. Really, in the Batman, it kind of feels like that the fight scenes are kind of a backdrop to get to the story, which kind of feels weird to say, because the fight scenes are like really understated. Like they're really short and like they're choreographed really well, they're shot really well. Like you can actually tell what's going on, which a lot of action movies kind of fall prey to like quick cutting around so you can't really see. There's a lot of like long shots in these fight scenes where you like actually see them like, breaking arms and, kicking teeth out and stuff. But they're like really short, like probably the longest one that isn't like a car chase, because the car chase is its own thing. But like it's probably like a minute long. It's wicked. They're all like really short. And the majority of the movie is just a like mystery, which we know that like, the Riddler is heavily involved and he's like more or less acting like the Zodiac killer. So he's like killing people, leaving notes behind that are like, I mean, we've all, like, I think in the trailer you see some notes that say like to the Batman, and he's like directly kind of calling out the Batman to be kind of like taking on the case and, trying to solve his great mystery. And of course, let's talk about the Robert Pattinson in the room. People have been asking, I think it was a great cast. I do enjoy Robert Pattinson. Post Twilight, he's been in a lot of weird art house movies. Where, I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of The Lighthouse, but I enjoy how weird it was and how weird Robert Pattinson is in real life. Just watching an interview with this dude I have no idea what he's talking about 80% of the time, but I kind of like that. And in this, I think he is the best Batman we've gotten so far.
Whoa.
I know. I think really it's a competition between him and Christian Bale. But I think Christian Bale's Batman is kind of, I wouldn't say laughable, but the voice, it's kind of hard to talk about the Christian Bale Batman movies and not talk about the voice. People were making fun of it then, and Chris Nolan even tried to change it a little bit. He even changed Bane's voice, but you still can't understand anything Bane says. But yeah, he's hard to understand. I think Christian Bale works as a Bruce Wayne pretty well. And in those movies, he's about 50% Bruce Wayne, 50% Batman. The majority of those scenes in The Dark Knight and stuff is just Bruce Wayne being a socialite. He's kind of he's talking with Harvey Depp. I can't remember his name because Harvey Dent. That's it. I should know that. Harvey Depp. But he's socializing with Harvey Dent. He's throwing these big lavish galas where he meets Catwoman, and he's trying to swoon over why can't I remember her name? I don't want to be that guy, but it's Jake Gyllenhaal's Maggie Gyllenhaal. That's her name. I was almost that guy who was that's Jake Gyllenhaal's sister, but Maggie Gyllenhaal is a very established actress. But he's trying to swoon Maggie Gyllenhaal. And this movie, it's about 90% Batman and 10% Bruce Wayne. In this telling of Bruce Wayne, he is an outcast. He is a recluse. He never goes out in public. The one time he goes out in public, it is a huge monumental event that we're oh snap, we are seeing Bruce Wayne, who hasn't been seen in 10 years. He is just kind of chilling in his house all the time, and when he's not chilling in his house or sleeping, he is on the town beating up crooks, and talking with, I don't think he's Commissioner Gordon in this movie, kind of in the Dark Knight trilogy. He doesn't start off as Commissioner Gordon. I think he's Lieutenant Gordon or something. Detective Gordon. I don't know. But, anytime there's a commissioner in a Batman universe that isn't Jim Gordon, then he's probably going to die. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, this movie is really freaking good. I guess just to go into a little bit of slight criticism without going into spoilers, the second act feels a little bit unfocused, a little bit all over the place. It falls into the classic Spider-Man 3 trap where you are establishing way too many villains and not giving enough time to the ones that you are interested in. So the first act is all about Riddler, and then the second act, Riddler kind of disappears, and then Riddler comes back, and it's okay. It's why?
You need to go grab a bagel.
He had to go grab a bagel. Let's talk to the Penguin.
Be right back.
And the Penguin, I was talking with our other movie friend, Grant. He saw it today in IMAX.
Best opinion, Grant. Let's go.
Grant really enjoyed the movie.
Oh, I was thinking he'd hate it.
You would think. But Grant also loves the Dark Knight trilogy, considering that he is a huge Chris Nolan fan. Of course he is.
Yeah.
So he had very high hopes for this one, and he really loved it. He actually did not like Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Colin Farrell, an Irishman, decided to go balls to the wall and try to do a Boston accent, which I don't think he fails at. I think it's actually a pretty good Boston accent. There are a couple pitfalls where he's just doing stereotypical Boston. You can kind of tell. I did notice in the credits that there are 2 dialect coaches credited, and I would imagine that those are for Colin Farrell learning his Boston accent. I don't know who else would be doing accent work because Andy Serkis keeps his British accent. I think Jerry from Succession is in this movie. I couldn't tell, but she is like his maid, Bruce Wayne's maid. So he has Alfred and Jerry. I think you only get like one shot of her, and she's like way off in the distance. But I could swear that was Jerry from Succession. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's not as consistent as The Dark Knight. I think Paul Dano as the Riddler. It's not the best Paul Dano performance that I've seen. He usually tends to be really good. But especially I think it's hard to compare Batman villains at this point because we've had 3 really stellar Joker performances with Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger and Jared Leto, of course.
Yeah.
No, not Jared Leto. Joaquin Phoenix. So it's kind of hard to judge Paul Dano when we have 3 really good performances to compare him to. I would say he's good. I would say he's, I don't know, passable. There are moments where he kind of just goes and kind of insane, and he starts screaming at people, which if you're going for the Zodiac killer thing, he needs to be kind of calm, collected, meticulous. He needs to kind of he just needs to be a little bit more there. And for him to kind of fly off the handle, it kind of goes against that Riddler thing. You'd expect that from a Penguin or Carmine Falcone, who was also in this movie. That's not a spoiler. That's John Turturro. You can look it up in the cast. But he plays a very sizable impact on this movie. He represents organized crime, which in The Dark Knight, organized crime takes a huge backseat to the Joker. But in this movie, it is more or less the focal point of the second act, which I think is the weakest part. Because, I think one of the main strong suits of Batman, I think it's pretty similar to Spider-Man, but to a more, a bigger extent. I think the strong point of Batman is definitely its villains. It's got a great, kind of rogues gallery, I think it's called, of these really distinct characters. And, just to be looking at organized crime, that's not really interesting. But that is definitely personal preference. I would have liked to see, we don't need to talk about, the Joker did not need to be in this movie. It could have just been a Riddler movie, and that would have been really good. But I think because it tried to introduce Carmine Falcone and Catwoman and the Penguin, there's just a lot of unnecessary kind of stuff. I'm not going to say filler, because I never felt like it was dragging or that I wanted scenes to be over, which is crazy because it is 3 hours long. But it definitely could have, I don't know, it just didn't need to be all that. But it is a better start to this Batverse thing that Matt Reeves is wanting to start. We'll see. This next installment, I'm going to say, is going to be significantly better than this one, hopefully, because this is really flipping good. So if this is where you're starting, it can only go up from here. And especially with this new attitude that DC is taking, where it's just picking out good directors and letting them do what they want, with James Gunn and Matt Reeves and Zack Snyder.
Huh.
Yes, I know. Very funny joke.
Uh-huh.
Zack Snyder, I don't think he's involved with DC anymore. I don't think. I think they've parted ways because everyone hates Zack Snyder's movies.
Oh, okay.
not because of any. No, Zack Snyder was not canceled. If anything, Twitter absolutely
Not yet.
loves Zack Snyder. If I had to like, all of the reviews I saw for the Batman were like, "This is great. Now make a Ben Affleck Batman movie," and that made me want to yarf.
I think DC fans are just so used to like being disappointed that they don't want good things.
It's so crazy. Because, like, I would say, like, all of the movies that typical DC fans hated are, like, their best ones. So, like, people did not like, the Joker. Well, like, DC fans. I would say, like, you know, I don't want to say regular people and then DC
No,
fans.
say regular people.
Okay. Regular people saw movies like The Suicide Squad and The Joker and like The Batman and thought, wow, those were great movies. This is a step in the right direction. And DC fans saw The Suicide Squad and said the 2016 Suicide Squad was better, even though it was
I
a
want Zack Snyder back.
I want Zack Snyder to make a 4-hour 4:3 movie in black and white because I
no
don't
reason.
care. Yeah. Yeah, they are very dumb, and they think that Ben Affleck was the best Batman, when I would say that even George Clooney was better than Ben Affleck, and George Clooney was probably one of the worst Batmen ever, in the hilarious movie Batman and Robin, which I think is so bad that it would be fun to do for one of our bad movie nights, because it is laughably bad. Batman has a bat credit card in that movie.
That's pretty good.
It is
That's
pretty.
realistic.
It is. It is realistic. I believe it is a scene where Batman and Robin are trying to woo Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, and Robin cannot afford to buy her a fancy car, but Batman pulls out his Bat credit card and buys her like a really fancy car, and he's like, "The Bat credit card. Never leave home without it," while looking directly at the camera.
That's good. That's good advertising.
I don't think it's a real thing. It's just, it was a really weird choice.
But it makes you feel like it's a real thing.
It does. It makes you feel like you're watching a commercial.
It makes me feel like Batman.
I don't think that's what it made you feel like.
Can we talk about Little Caesars stealing Donkey's bit as a marketing campaign?
I have no idea what you're
Uh-oh.
talking about.
Little Caesars has a Batman pizza, and it says this pizza will make you feel like Batman.
I gotta see
Really?
this.
Yeah, it's their campaign around the Batman.
Little
I just found it really
Caesars.
strange that they just stole his whole flow.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah, the
Little-
Bat Calzone or whatever it is.
That is.
Did
It looks
you
like
use
a
new
heart
pizza?
attack. It looks awful, but
Yeah, it looks like a bow
So-
tie or something.
yeah,
Doesn't look like a bat.
Little Caesars dared to make a Batman-shaped calzone by Polygon.
It don't look like a bat
It,
though.
does it say it really makes you feel like Batman?
yeah, it'll make you feel like Batman.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yes, eating pizza makes me feel like Batman the hero.
it's
That
gotta
doesn't
be a
even
donkey
make any
rip.
sense.
It's got to be a donkey rip. There's no way.
That doesn't make sense as like a marketing thing.
No, it doesn't. But it's
Like-
Little Caesars. So.
Like when Burger King made Fantastic Four burgers, they weren't like, "This will make you feel like the Thing." Like, that doesn't make.
But
any-
it's got to be a donkey reference, though. 'cause
I
it's
mean, it
only-
has to
that's the
be. Why?
only way.
Why else would
Otherwise,
you
like,
pick
How does
that?
that get through?
I have no idea. It's either like. My guess is that it's just like whatever marketing guy was just like, "What if I could sneak this in and then no one
Yeah,
will
and then he did
notice?"
it.
And he did it. That's kind of funny.
I love it.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
Probably not gonna have it ever, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
don't
looks
even-
awful. I would die eating that.
Yeah. Little Caesars pizzas are very greasy.
They're kind of
Never-
bomb, like low key. Like people hate on them way too much, but I'm not eating a Bat Calzone because it looks awful.
I've never had Little Caesars. I've
It's
had
not
pretty
the
much every
worst.
other
It's
pizza.
not the
It's pretty
worst.
decent. It's pretty decent.
Although I don't know if there's
It's
like a
very cheap.
pizza out there that is very bad.
No,
I even
it's
like
very
Domino's
cheap,
pizza to an
affordable.
extent.
It's easy to get.
Yeah, and you get two of them for the price of one.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think
yeah.
that's a thing anymore.
it's very cheap.
It is cheap. Yeah, so that's good. And
Always good.
if you call in and tell them that you are head of sales and tell them to print out a picture of a giraffe and
They will do it.
they will do it. So that's kind of funny. So I guess that wraps up the discussion on the Batman. We'll
Yeah.
probably have a more spoilered, in-depth discussion once Babby sees it, which will be...
I'll try next weekend. I don't know.
Okay.
Give me 2 weeks at most. That'll be spoiler embargo too.
Yeah, that's true. So give it a couple weeks, and we'll give our full thoughts on all of the big things, like the fact that the Riddler does the whoosh skirt in one of his videos. It's so crazy.
That's crazy.
What?
He was like doing a live stream thing, and then he was like going on TikTok, and he was like, I'm gonna do Addison Rae all the dances on Jimmy Fallon. And then he started screaming at Jimmy Fallon. I thought it was really weird. And then the Joker came out and killed Jimmy Fallon on the
Shot
show.
Jimmy Fallon.
So that's it. That's all I have. Baby, go talk about music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just throwing it to me, defeated.
Well, I'm
Take a
not
ball.
defeated. I said it was a good movie.
Okay. I don't really have a lot. I got to the Beach House album finally. It's how long is this? An hour and 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember half of it.
Wow.
I'm not mad at it.
Understandable.
I mean, it's like very like wavy synth pop, so it's like you just listen to it, and it's good, and that's all I can gather right now. I need to listen to it more, but it's so long that I can't gather thoughts on it.
Yeah, there's
'Cause
4
the songs
discs.
are so incredibly fluid that it's hard to even like pin down things. But it's divided into 4 discs,
Yeah.
which are all pretty good. Again, it's very fluid, but it's very good. It just feels like they're flexing on you for like way too long. It's like, look at how constantly good this material is for an hour and a half, and then you want to like walk away remembering like 3 songs. But those 3 songs I remember are very good. The rest of it is also very good. It's just I can't like give in-depth thoughts yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how music reviewers got to this one quick, because this is also my first exposure to Beach House, so that could be part of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need a lot more time to sit with it. But it is very good. Will recommend. If you have an hour and a half to kill, or if you just need to really get some stuff done and need like a smooth listening experience, that's also pretty sick.
Would it be good Elden Ring music?
No.
Okay. I often have things on while I'm playing Elden Ring because it is very quiet.
Unless you want to feel like you're like driving down the beach in your freaking drop top Jeep in like a
Wrangler.
vaporwave music video.
Oh. Like,
Wow.
what kind of music is it?
Very synth wavy. It's very like airy.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah.
So not good Elden Ring music.
No. It's
Okay.
very spacey and airy and light.
Gotcha.
That's kind of what I'm
Love
getting from it.
space music.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the space song their most popular one? Yeah, space song is it. That's literally their most popular song. It's the space song.
It's called
I'm sure all of
Space
you have
Song?
heard space song.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
It
can't
was
play it
incredibly
right now.
popular.
Bet.
You
I'll
don't
look it up.
you won't know that you know it, but if you hear it, you know it.
Okay.
Um,
I'll play
was
it after the podcast.
Okay. But that's pretty good.
Aw.
Need to give it more listens. Pusha T, another song.
Pusha T.
Pusha T. This Hear Me Clearly is a song. This one's a lot better than Diet Coke. This is what I wanted. Diet Coke is not bad by any means. It's just it wasn't at the Pusha T level that I wanted.
Prefer Diet Pepsi.
Exactly. Diet Coke had a really, really great beat, but the wordplay wasn't there. And then this one has like amazing wordplay, and the beat's kind of so-so.
Oh, okay.
So you get both half of the coins on each song, but I definitely prefer this one more. It feels like he's in his prime Daytona bag again, which is good.
Good.
He also said half the album's produced with Kanye production, half of it's produced with Pharrell production.
Oh,
We've only heard the Kanye part tracks, so I'm interested to see what Pharrell's doing with them,
I like Pharrell production.
because that's gonna own.
Yeah.
So hopefully he drops soon. I mean, I need the whole thing at this point. I have a feeling like Jid, Vince Staples, and Pusha T are all gonna drop in like the same time, and I'm just gonna be like barred out to the point where
Probably.
I can't process things anymore.
Yeah.
But very good. Excited to see where he goes. That's all the singles and albums and stuff this week. It's very slow.
That's it?
But Genius did finish. We had the third part of the
Oh.
documentary. It's over.
It's all done.
It's all done.
Did
I
it
guess-
talk about the car crash?
That was like the first. episode. Was it the first? Yeah, I think it was.
I
the
would
first.
hope so. It was
Yeah.
before his rap career.
Yeah. No, but the first one was like back in like 2002. It was like
Oh, okay.
a while back. I think the car crash was like near the end of the first episode.
Okay.
But yeah, third part's out. I guess I can judge the whole thing as a whole now. Overall, it is very good. I'm so glad they did not let Kanye have full creative control over it and let the actual documentary maker do his thing. It came across so much better that way because I can imagine Kanye wanting to change some things in the third episode. I'm glad they did not let him do that because that would just be, it'd be a sin, not Christ-like.
That's true.
But first part's really great. I love. It goes from like a incredibly motivational and like, self-confident point in the first episode, and it's so like refreshing to see the old Kanye
Yeah.
and like everything he stood for, and then you slowly see him get more demented throughout it, to the point where the third episode is just really sad. At some
I
points.
imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just love how in depth the documentary goes. Like, there's literally footage from like him talking to the dentist after the car crash. He's like, I gotta film this music video in like 4 weeks. Can I have my mouth fixed by then? And he's like, you're crazy. You can't do that. You idiot. And then they go through the whole through the wire thing where he did it anyways,
Yeah.
which is really cool stuff. Third part, they kind of broke apart with when Graduation came out, because at that point Kanye was like the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
And he didn't need no documentary crew with him, I guess. So it kind of skipped over like Graduation through Yeezus, which is a little unfortunate because I would have liked to seen like studio sessions and stuff from Yeezus specifically. I'd like to see like how crazy that stuff would have been.
Mm-hmm.
But that's no fault of the documentary maker. It's just Kanye was like, "See you,"
Yeah.
which I understand that kind of, but at the same time, kind of feels bad, man.
Yeah.
But I picked back up with Pablo 2016. It was kind of from the point I like that the documentary maker kind of put himself into it more, in his kind of life, him like growing a family as Kanye was doing this thing during like this off period, and then like the relationship being like forever changed, like once he came back and everything was like different. You could tell it was like very different. Like it was very, like they were very very close in the first 2 episodes because they would spend every single day like documenting. So wherever Kanye was going, he was there with a camera, and then just like you see the montage of all the Kanye scandals and all the album success and everything.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you see Kanye and him in a room again doing like the same thing they were doing in 2004, but it's so completely different. It's like jarring. But yeah, it was still really cool to see. And then you start seeing the rapid decline. You got a lot of Wyoming ranch footage of the Jesus is King sessions and
yeah.
everything. And Kanye's he's such an interesting person because he'll like drop gems and like be so thoughtful and mindful in one clip, and then literally 30 minutes later in that same day he's just like completely erratic and making no sense. It's
Well, he's
so
bipolar.
scary. Yeah, but like just seeing it in the documentary is like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the amount of decline that goes through with that illness and him being like not medicated during that area, because they show parts where he is medicated, and then he honestly had that TMZ thing where he went off the rails and he was off meds, and then they had documentary footage after that. It was like insane.
Well, isn't it
And
like
the guy even cut documentary footage like when he was going on these rants like off his meds because he's like, I can't like in good faith keep recording this. This is sad.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it like a thing that he goes off meds whenever he works on new projects?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when he did the TMZ thing, Jesus is King was like right around the corner, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I mean, you see the ranch, you see everything. It's very in depth, which I appreciate. And even though like it's showing Kanye in this bad light, it's not like look at how bad this guy is. It's more of like this is the person I once knew, and this is kind of sad, but also there's still a lot of these points of like him actually being that old person still. It's just not as frequent. There's like those glimmers of like, hey, this looks like the person from the first part of the documentary, and then it just goes away. So it's a very good documentary. Not at all Kanye propaganda, which is awesome, because I'm sure Kanye would have made a very different creative direction in his current
Yeah.
headspace with this documentary, unfortunately. But the Genius title, I don't care. It's a good title with this documentary. It's like not like a self ego building title. It's just like, here's the title for this documentary. If you want to find meaning for it, you can find your own meaning for it. But it's not just like, oh, look at this best artist of all time ever made, Kanye West, made by Kanye West. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's really good. I think some people were a little off put with the third part just because they didn't get to see that inside studio footage of the other parts, and then like, I mean, Kanye stans are delusional at this current moment, so I think some of them were mad to see like, oh, they're showing the bad parts of him during this point or whatever. But
There's a lot of bad parts to
there's a
point
lot of
out
bad
about
parts
Kanye right now.
yeah, there's not a lot of good things. But overall, really good. Definitely recommend. It was a very cool thing to see, and I'm glad the documentary maker is getting his bag for it after 20 plus years of working on it. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of
Big ups.
years.
Documentary makers are crazy.
Mhm.
They spend so much time in between projects. I don't know how they do it.
Especially they have the hindsight to be like, I'm gonna start recording Kanye in 2002.
Yeah.
Like before he's even like, he knew he was going to be a rapper, but I'm like, I'm gonna drop, because he was a stand-up comedian. I'm gonna drop my comedy career and I'm gonna become a full-time documentary maker, like following Kanye West.
That's
a
crazy.
big- that's a
That's
big
a
life
huge
decision
leap
right
of faith.
Yeah, especially since they're both from Chicago and they started in New York because it was 2002 and he's working for Jay-Z. So like they were in New York, so he had to move to New York and everything too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
Man.
good documentary, would recommend. Bad Kanye news: the Easy music video came out.
Yeah.
That was something.
The game music video. Is it the game or
Yes.
is it Kanye featuring the game?
It's the game featuring Kanye, but nobody cares about the game's verse.
Okay.
So, is it really his song?
I
Since Kanye produced it and has the only verse people talk about it.
I've just seen people say Kanye featuring the game.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
But technically, yeah, the song is so weird because the cover art is the monkey. So
Yes.
that was like a whole thing when that came out, and
I
now the
hate
music
that
video
cover
came out, and now it's another thing. But yeah, the music video is claymation, and it shows Kanye decapitating and burying Pete Davidson,
Oh,
which
interesting.
is a little extreme.
Which is rather funny under any other context.
Yeah, under any other context, that's like cool.
That's a funny
this
bit.
context, this is just sad.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I've been saying for weeks that Kanye's in his divorced dad Joker arc, but this really is the divorced dad Joker arc. This is the
Yeah.
moment in Joker where he shoots the freaking
Yeah,
Jimmy
this-
Fallon guy.
Yeah, he shoots Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Watch out, Jimmy Fallon.
yeah. Watch out, Jimmy Fallon.
I saw Jimmy Fallon had Pete Davidson on like right after that.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I thought I saw it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it was in response. I think it was just unrelated. And it
Oh,
was like
that's
that
interesting.
video came out and then like Pete Davidson
Yeah.
was on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
I don't think he
but
asked him about it.
I don't know. That music video is like bad. It's trashy. It's what are you doing?
Well, I mean, that's kind of like this whole thing he's going through is that,
Yeah,
what?
it's just, you know.
especially after Donda, which like not as someone who isn't a Kanye fan, at least I can recognize and appreciate what he was trying to do with Donda.
Yeah.
But
Donda
this
was
is
really
like
great.
he's just so
He's off the
it's,
rails.
it's like the lowest of the low
It's
of
sad.
him.
It is sad.
Yeah.
And especially with like, you've dated two women after you've broken or you've had the divorce with your wife. And Kim Kardashian has said nothing because she's a normal person.
Yes.
And then Pete Davidson comes along, and all of a sudden he's your entire life. It's really strange.
Yeah. Especially since it's Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
like-
especially since it's Pete Davidson. The man couldn't hurt a fly. I
Yeah.
mean, look at him. He's just the funny man.
He's out
That's
here
all he is.
selling smart water and
Yeah.
making jokes on SNL. He's literally the most
Exactly.
inoffensive guy ever.
Exactly. But especially since like the Donda 2 lyrics of like making it seem like his kids are held hostage with Kim, and
Yeah.
like all this really weird stuff. It's like, please, like social media has ruined you because this should not be public at all, and you should not have people leaning into your side on this first off
Well, yeah.
by having your entire Instagram comment section being like, yes, go off, King, and following all those people and like creating your own vacuum for yourself to make sure that you feel like you're on the correct side of things. And then like going to a court and being like, do not use my Instagram posts against me in court. It's like insane.
Yeah.
You are insane.
Yes. It is pretty
It's
obvious
sad.
that he's going off the deep end.
Yeah. it's
Which, I
very
mean,
sad.
we kind of thought he was before, but like now it really feels like it.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
And mental illness does not excuse all of that
No.
or most of it.
No.
Yeah, it's very sad. The music isn't even good to back it up this time. I don't even have a thread to hang on to. Usually when he goes through something crazy, the music still bops pretty hard. This time, no. I don't even have a crumb to go off of here.
There
the
wasn't
only good
one
thing I got was
song
a
on
documentary.
Donda 2.
There are some good songs on Donda too, but it's not enough, and they're also not finished. So
That's true.
maybe if there was like a full finished version of a couple songs on there, then I'd have something. But I don't know. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth, anyways. Like just knowing all the context of Donda 2 and like again tying your mother's name to it. Well, it's basically just my wife left me. I'm sad album.
It's so weird. Yeah.
But I mean, that's my Kanye spiel for the week. There's a lot of these every time he does something because he loves headlines. He's a very every time he speaks, it's something.
Yeah.
Which creates a lot of content. Whether I want to talk about it or not, that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably shouldn't talk about it because that's what he wants.
Dang it, he got us
I
again.
don't know if he wants it. I think he's just so used to every time he opens his mouth, it's going to happen.
That's true.
To the point where he doesn't care so he'll just do whatever.
I think he like weaponizes it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
definitely like there are like moments where it's like I haven't heard anything from Kanye in a while, and then he says something crazy and like
There he is.
yeah.
But I think that's everything. I guess we can talk about, the weekend had tour dates. The tour dates came out. I'm sad.
I'm sad.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out maybe.
We'll figure it
Probably
out.
not, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
That's for off camera.
Yeah.
Kendrick is headlining 3 festivals this summer.
Oh, they
so,
added another one.
Yeah, we're about to eat in
Okay.
the coming months. So the wait is, fingers crossed, the wait is over. At
That's
least
what you
we only
think.
have a few more months to go.
He's gonna do Untitled Unmastered 2.
I would hate him. It would be pretty good, but I would hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's
I'm
gonna
not
be
going to listen
damned.
to more Kendrick stuff following up to it because then I will be like addicted to Kendrick again, and I'm gonna wait for the album because if nothing happens, then I'm gonna like just be really sad.
Like the
But
album's
it
bad.
seems all the lines are coming together. There's tour dates. One of the tours is already confirmed that there's new music being played. Freaking Rolling Loud intern put out a weird tweet where it's like, yeah.
It
he's
means
putting out
exactly
new
what you
music.
think
Yeah,
it means.
Exactly what you think it
It's
means.
been a long 5 years.
Yeah, and then deleted it.
Yeah.
So that could be cap. I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
I'm like 99% sure this is the one. It's
It's
coming.
probably coming soon.
Yeah. So I don't need the weekend tour. I need a Kendrick tour. So
I need both.
Yeah.
I would love to see, especially these 2 albums. I feel like I gotta go see them for these 2 albums.
yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll get stuff figured out. We'll do some finagling. But yeah, I don't know. Not a whole lot to talk about with that.
No.
If you want to see The Weeknd and you live in 12 cities across the United States,
A quote unquote world tour puts 10 cities.
but 2 of them are in Florida, so thank God
Yes.
for that.
2 of them are in
Ah,
Florida.
yes.
Your home country of Canada has 2 dates, and the state of Florida has as many as that.
That is true and kind of
that's
crazy.
interesting. Yeah.
Does he have a lot of retired people to listen to him or something?
I don't know.
That's a valid point because it's Tampa and Miami. He's not even
Maybe
going.
maybe
to,
that's
like, the big...
the Dawn FM part. It's just all old people to match his old people
That's
aesthetic.
right.
Yeah.
He's going through purgatory, so he's trying
Yeah.
to meet all the people who are going to be there soon.
Yes,
Okay, that makes
it's
sense.
genius.
That makes sense why he's going to Chicago then too.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That's all I got.
Okay. All right, cool. Then yeah, I mean that's all I have too.
Ditto.
Awesome.
Nice.
Want to talk about this new John Mayer video we did?
Oh,
Yeah, the music's kind of quiet.
Oh. Well, I can't fix that.
I can't fix that.
That's something that'll have to be fixed next time I record
Okay.
something.
Retrospective this week. Next week. is
Next
it?
week. We're
Next
recording
week.
this.
Yes.
We're recording it this week. By the time you're watching this now, wait 6 hours
Wait
for
6 hours.
1 p.m. and then you can watch our video on my favorite album of all time, John Mayer. Continuum.
Just John Mayer.
Yeah, just John Mayer. We listened to like his greatest hits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not my favorite album, but it is pretty good. So, yeah. Tune in. Tell me how much of a bad editor I am and how my audio mixing is bad, even though I have the ears
it's
of
terrible.
a squirrel. So, yeah, I think, I don't know. We'll get it figured out. We are still new to this whole making videos thing. We haven't
Yep.
been doing this for a year.
Or
We're
3.
close. We're about 9 months? We started in July.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
we're
man,
still
that's been
getting
a
it
while.
figured out. So yeah, do you guys want to talk about politics or something? Spice it up.
dude.
I think I'm politicked out, but yeah.
I think it's so funny that Democrats are trying to vote for this whole Ukraine thing. It's kind of
It's
crazy.
pronounced demon rats.
Oh, dude, that is very funny. That is a funny joke.
Own the libs moment.
It's pronounced Ukran, actually.
The Ukraine.
The Yukon
Ukraine.
territory.
Ukraine.
Yukon territory.
The certified hash brown moment.
Are there hash browns in Yukon territory?
I would hope they'd have McDonald's.
Probably somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, they gotta have them. I need to know this.
Yes, please Google if they have a McDonald's in the Yukon territory. That is very important content for the podcast.
They do indeed have
Okay.
McDonald's in the. Oh wait, that's Yukon, Oklahoma. Never mind.
Oh, frick.
Oh. Well, if they have one in
Uh,
Yukon, Oklahoma, then they should have one in the whole territory of Canada.
Looks like there is a low. Wait,
Yukon's
Where
a
is
huge
this?
territory. I would hope they would have at least one McDonald's.
this is
Does
the.
anybody live there?
They do have one.
Yeah, it's all the way up north.
It's
Yeah,
like
but,
the southern Yukon, and it's along one very long road with no other
a lot of
roads
people
near
live,
it.
northern Canada, though.
Where do they get employees from?
The Inuit live in northern Canada, so maybe you check your privilege.
Okay,
It's also right
Oh.
next to Alaska.
true.
Yeah,
People live in Alaska.
I know, but this is like in the
Imagine
middle
living
of
in
nowhere.
Alaska.
Oh, I guess it's actually a fairly decently sized town, actually.
The Yukon Territory is one of the most beautiful places in the whole wide world, and you guys are just shitting on them. How does it feel like?
I don't know, but they got a Best Western boy.
Let's go.
Okay, so they're highballing in the Yukon
They also have
Territory.
something that's just called schools, but it's in full caps.
That's probably where they educate themselves. Who are we to judge what they call it? All right, well,
Full caps.
I think I hear a thunderstorm rolling in, so I might
There
lose
is a
power.
thunderstorm outside right now. So.
Dude, you guys are just getting that? I had it like 5 hours ago.
Yeah, I drove home and it was not good.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Southerner.
Southerner, I'm above you.
I
Check
was
your
talking to
privilege, bro.
Paul.
You and me.
I wasn't talking to you. Coward?
Yeah, he's talking to me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I
how
was at the
weather
funny
works.
come and go throughout the whole thing, and it was literally just like me, two other coworkers, and two Amazon delivery drivers just sitting there for like half hour just talking about it, and just it was very fun.
Did you guys break out some new Coke Starlights?
Did you make out with the Amazon
No,
employee?
but I did have two girls later in the night come in and get that, and they wanted to know what it tasted like, and they said, "Cool, it tasted like we thought it would."
It
But I
tastes
told
like
them it
Coke.
was like Coke with cotton candy.
Yeah. I had one the other day.
S'mores.
It just it tastes like Coke but a little bit different, and I don't know
Exactly.
exactly how to pin it down.
He's
Yeah. But
One coworker said it was like cotton candy. I say it's s'mores because I haven't had cotton candy in like at least 12 years, so I probably don't know what it tastes like.
don't you guys sell cotton candy there?
No,
You don't sell
You can
like the
just
little
go to a gas
bagged
station
cotton
and
candy that you'd get
purchase
from the
cotton
video stores?
no, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, pick some up.
Because all
Next time you go
expired
to
ones
Hy-Vee at
are
8
like-
p.m., why don't you go get some bagged cotton candy so you can at
Oh, I
least know
don't go
what's...
to Hy-Vee at 8 p.m. anymore. I go at like
He's reformed.
2 to 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mostly because, well, I don't know why.
It's a
I
big
don't know.
life
I just,
change.
Peer pressure.
yeah, well, kind of that, and also they're not as busy in like the mid and early afternoon.
That is true.
And that's like literally the number one reason of when I go, so I'm just going then.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even like 8 o'clock, sometimes they're kind of busy.
Yeah, Babby knows what times are busy because he used to work at a grocery store.
Now we just
Yeah.
order online and don't even go to the store.
That's so
Dude.
funny, dude.
What a millennial, am I right?
What a millennial.
Speaking of thunderstorms, I think one is coming through and it might knock my power out.
Oh, we're
I'm
gonna
very
lose it.
concerned. I have overground power.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know. They just like there's a big antenna or like I don't know, like you know those big like steel like tall towers that have the wires or
Tower?
like the power
Yeah.
lines.
You got a mini Eiffel Tower power line.
Yeah, they have one right on top of my building.
Yikes. That probably, all it takes is a little bit of rain, it probably kills that thing.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm worried about.
Okay,
Maybe we
probably-
should have maybe picked a different day to do the podcast, one that isn't when it's
You're still
raining.
recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
Oh, this is the worst outro ever created.
I thought it